All right, hopefully everybody can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
So, welcome to BIM 360 Docs. I'm going to spare you the login screen, but it looks the same thing as the glue or the field login. But once you're logged in, you come in and you have an empty project, which you can then come in and create your particular project and then come in and add users to that project. You can also create and edit folders. So just real quickly, the create and editing folders are easy. So once you come in and create your project, you're just going to right mouse click and you're going to start to add your subfolders. With those subfolders, you can come in and type in any name that you want. So so that's easy. You go through that. So you can come in and you can start to build out your entire folder structure. And so this is great because you can match up to an existing folder structure that a company has or create your own new one based on what you want to do. With that, when you come through and you start to do that, you can also come in and now start to add users. So for users, we're going to come through and from the administrative side of it, we can come in and we can start to add members to that. And so adding members is easy. We're going to grab and you're going to take an email address, put that in. Once your email address is in and added, come in and start to do some things with that. With that person, you can give them a name. So that name can be different from what their email address is. We can also go through and we can add a company for that person. And so if that person's company is in there, we can come through and we can say, where is that person from? And he's from Autodesk. We can also come through and add a role for that particular person. And so since it's me, and I'll be true to myself here, I'm still an architect at heart. So we have those in and we have them there. Now we're going to add them to the project. And as you can see, I've been added to that project inactive. So very important thing here that if you want to continue to give this person permissions and rights on the project, they are going to have to accept the invitation that came in. This stumps me every now and then when I'm doing some demos and I add somebody. So once you've done that, that person will receive an email. And hopefully Google's playing nice with us. All right, well, as soon as it comes in, I'll show you. They'll receive that email, and then they'll have to accept that email in order to continue to add them through and give them rights for the rest of the project. I'm going to leave there. We're going to come back to our project, and I will go back to my Gmail, and hopefully it comes in quicker, and we can go ahead and get them added in. Once you're in here, some other things that we can do right away. Folder level access. So from the top, the main folder of the project, we come in and we can start to set permissions for each user. Since I am the project admin, I'm in charge of the project, I inherit automatically full control of the project. But for every user that I now add, initially when they come in, we're going to give them a view. So this means that they can actually see that there's a project, but they can't do much with it. As we go down, we can start to get granular with that, and I'll click down into my design documents here, and you can see with David Sanchez, I've now given him much greater control. And I'll go over which each one of these are. So granular control, individual control for users, companies, or roles. And so if we look at these permissions, we have the publish permission, which obviously means you can add something to the project. We have a view permission, which means you can now come in and you can view inside of individual folders that you've been given a right to. We then have the edit permission, which means you can come in and you can start to add and delete files. You can start to add markups. And then this control one is very interesting because if you have a control function, as David does, well, David is the person that's over the design documents. And so David, with the control, he can start to add additional users just to his set of folders. And that's very, very important. So wherever David has control, and any folders that he has control of, he could add additional users from his team and give them access to that. So what we're doing is we're not making it where one person has to be in charge of the entire project over every company, and you've got to touch base with that single person to add people. What we're saying is since David is one of the architectural firms here, and he's the main contact for that company, we're going to give him this control function. So if he has 3 or 4 people working for him, he can add those users to the project, to the folders which he has control of. Very, very important feature to use and to be able to do there. Now, as we start to come through and we start to look at our project and our folder setup, once again, you can create any structure that you want. You can come in and for any of these, you can add it, you can rename it, or you can delete it. I'm going to talk about the deletion first. If we come in here, I'll go back so we can actually see our folder structure. If we come into anything that's in here and we delete that file is deleted and removed from the project structure, but it lives in the recycle bin forever. And that's currently something that we have right now. So here's that Arch 1 folder that I just deleted. We'll know exactly where that folder lived because the original path of the folder is here. And if you ever want to put that folder back for some reason, you can simply hit the arrow, and that arrow will then take that folder and restore it back into the main structure. So at this time, anything that you delete is in the recycle bin, and it's in the recycle bin for perpetuity. It's there forever right now. So an important feature there. Now, as we look at this, other features that we can do from a folder. We can upload files. So go in, this is the standard, standard upload of files. You can go in, grab as many files as you want, or grab an individual file. Grab a Revit file, a PDF. So we're going to grab one. We're going to let that load. It's going to go in. You'll see it doing some work down here on the bottom of your screen. So that'll let you know as the file's being loaded, it's letting you know that it's processing it. And then when it's done, it will notify you, and we'll get a little green house over here. I'm going to keep going while that's sitting there and doing that. Also from this location, we can download anything that we want. So we can come in and we can select download. We can also edit the name of a file that has been loaded up by simply clicking on the little edit pencil. Along here, you're going to see the 3 dots. And once again, these 3 dots indicate that there's other functions that you can do. So right from the file, you can delete or download, or from the top menu, you can delete, download. Another very nice feature that we have is the ability to be able to move or copy a single file or an entire file. Grab the file. We're going to hit move, copy. It's going to give us the option on where we want to move that to. I want to move it to my demo folder. And now I have the option. I can select move, which will remove it from this folder and place it in the demo folder, or I can select copy, which will copy it from this and then place the copy down there. I'll go ahead and move that. Screen will refresh. File is now gone, and it will now be in our demo folder. So once again, we can upload, download, move, and copy. The other feature that we have, and I'm going to go into a different folder here, is the ability to manage versions. And so for each of these, as you see them in any folder, this happens. So as you come in, you'll see we now have all our V1s. And as we pull down, oh, my apologies, I thought I added a second file here. Well, if I had a second file here, this would be a V2. Let me just see if I did it in my shop drawings. Because seeing is always believing. There we go. I did do it right here. So if we look right here, you'll see within my shop drawings, I do have a V2 here. Now, once again, from any folder, if you click on these, you're automatically going to get your revision history. You're going to see what the current file is, which is my V2. And you're going to see what is also available in the prior versions. My V1, if I select Make Current, it's going to take that. It's going to make that one current right in front of me. And when I come back, you can now see that that one is now my V1, and it's now current. Come back down here. Also from this area, we have our thumbnail view. So this is the file that I just moved. So you see we have a full thumbnail view. Or if you have many files, come in, go up, and you'll see that full folder in a complete thumbnail view. And this box, I am to believe, will be removed for the release. And Joan, if I'm wrong, please correct me. But I do believe that this will not be here for the release.
That's correct. So what you'll have there, where Sean is pointing, is you'll have the thumbnail view and the list view.
Very good. So I just, in one of the other demos I did, people were asking, so this will not be here for your release. So we'll have thumbnail, we'll have list. So then the next feature that we have is the ability to come through and start to add custom attributes to our areas. So let's look at our project file area here, and let's just say that there's a company and they say, you know, within our main management of our files, we'd like to see where our CD set status is. So they can come in and they can add a custom attribute. And so these attributes can be added at any level, and they can come through, they can give the attribute a name, and then they can pick the attribute type. So we have a text field, we have a date picker, or we have a drop list. If you wanted a drop list, we can come in and we could just say yes, or we could say no. And then once we've done that, we can say add. And so we will get that custom attribute here. And so when they do come to a file, they can then start to use these individual attributes on their drawings. So we'll go ahead and get to a drawing here, and we can come through and we can look at this and we can say, all right, let's look at the option for this, and it's a yes or no. This is a demo file? Yes, it is. Very good. And so they can come through and start to do that through any of these. If this was a document, if we would come into our construction document area, let's say that there were permits that were set. We could have a set of drawings or documents that were here with our permit. And was this permitted? We can come through and we can say, yes, this was permitted. So once again, we can start to look at the status of a drawing right across the top because of the attributes which we're adding. While we're looking at that, we can also add all kinds of PDF documents here. And in this case, out in the field, we have our permits. So we can come through and you can add your permit right here. So when they're in the field, they can come through, they can view them, and they can see them. Let me take a drink break. The next set of features that we're going to look at are this plans folder. So up here are two special folders, one called plans and one called shop drawings. So our plans folder works as a very special activity. What we can do here is we can come in and we can upload a multi-page PDF, or we can upload a Revit drawing. And what will happen in this area is it will go through and it will individually split out each one of those sheets. And Joan, this is for you. I did notice a thing, and I'm assuming that you guys are working on that. I noticed that it does put the sheets in number order as long as it holds each ones, tens, and hundreds. Once it comes down to a single number, the sheets did go out of order. I didn't notice this in some of my other demos, so I'm not sure if this is a new or an added feature that's recently happened. But when they come in, go ahead, Joan.
Yeah, so the sort order, we've done a fair amount of work there, as well as what you're seeing there with a PDF, for example, where you see sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. That's because what Sean is showing you doesn't have that title block OCR working yet, but in the version that we're releasing later this week, you would no longer see just a sheet, and in that case we'd know it was A101, A102, or whatever the proper alphanumeric code is that the customer puts at the as the sheet number. So those will come from the OCR process and be fully available, and will sort properly.
Awesome. That's why I have Joan with me. That's my phone, your lifeline there. So what will happen is when you add this Revit file, so if I was to come in, say upload files, and I was to grab this Revit architecture file, and this is the file I did, I am going to hit open. You're going to see down at the bottom, this is going to start the process, and this is going to take a little bit of time. The reason being is what it's doing is it's going into that Revit model, and it's now going to extract each one of the sheets that are in that model. So what's going to happen for me here is that any sheet that has been updated, or if a sheet's been deleted, we're going to see the R2 for any sheet that is in there that does match these. And then if we don't see the R2, then we know that that sheet was not revised inside of this model. I'm going to let that keep running because that will take a little bit of time to process it. But here is the benefit to this. This now goes through, and as you can see, it already knows that this is an R2. So it's now going to come in and process this and start to bring in each one of these sheets. This will happen with both the Revit file and with the PDF, and these will be in number order, as Joan said. Now, as that's happening, I'm going to go in and we're going to start to look at some of the features that we have within our models. So I'll come down here to our design development models. So right off the bat, great viewer. Absolutely fabulous viewer that we have. So when we click on this model, we do get this full 3D model view. Works absolutely fabulous, as you know it does with our large model viewer and what's here. So that works automatically. But some things that people weren't talking about a lot of. First thing is that we do have our model browser view where we can come through and look at each of the individual items that are in this model. So great way to go through your model and start to look and identify things. Another piece that people don't spend a lot of time talking about is the ability to go through and identify properties within that model. So we can come in, select an individual piece, and then look at the properties for that individual object within the model. So we are bringing in all of that data and bringing all of that into BIM 360 Docs, and you're able to look at that data and start to interact with that data. Close out of here, and I'm going to come up to some of my sheets. And so the other thing we can do with our sheets when we go through is we can mark everything up. So I already have some markups on this one, and we'll go through, but this is a markup tool that you know and love. I'll come down to the bottom, click the markups, can come through and pick whichever of these that you want. Once you've selected that, drag through. We know this, we've seen this, we've done this, so this is all in and working. Come in, add text to this. And then we can add our arrow to that. And once we've done that, we're in. We can click done. And we now have our legend for all of our markups. So we know we've seen this. So our markups are running and working. Can also turn the markups on or off, but these are features that we know and love that are within some of our other products, which is great. The other nice thing that I found, and Joan, I'm sure you knew this, but all your Navisworks files work in here also. So just as before, this is the place for the contractors to come and load up their Navisworks files. So here is my my Navisworks file. It's here, works. It's going to do the same thing as my Revit file did, so I can come through, see it all. And then once again, the same idea. We brought across all of the same properties. So if I click anything in, something different this time, click something and click it, once again, we get our properties. So once again, it is that complete place for document management. So whether it's your design file, your Navisworks files, you can start to take and put things into a place where people can come and see them. Some other things that are here. Go into our PDFs. And so if you're in any one file, down at the bottom corner, we can start to go right across those for easy access across any set of our documents. So you don't have to open and close and keep going in or out. So, you know, right now, that's what we have. That's what's sitting here. Joan, have I missed anything that is a should have went over?
Oh, I think you've covered quite nicely.
Very good.
Sean, maybe we could take a chance. There's quite a few questions that came through, so maybe we should take this moment to answer some of these questions.
All right, that would be great. Joan, Jared.
Yeah,
let's go.
Make sure, Joan and Jared will need your help on these for sure. So I'll read them off, and then if you want to take it, just go ahead and grab it. So first one from Frank here. At launch, how much integration of the HQ admin system will be in place for Docs?
All of it. So you create a project in HQ, and then you turn on Docs.
Cool. So it's fully integrated into HQ at launch. Cool. Let's see here. Probably going to mess up the name. Vasanth. Can I add a user to multiple projects as an admin?
Users are added at the project level. So you do it one project at a time.
Okay, so we'll be one project at a time. Let's see here. Can you import a list to create project users instead of one at a time as shown?
I think it's one at a time right now.
Yeah. Okay. Joan, do you know if that's something we're looking at for roadmap where, you know, you can synchronize to a list or a spreadsheet or something like that for users?
Yes, that is a roadmap. Right now, if you choose to do like a cut and paste. There's an issue with some characters, but that's something we're going to fix quickly.
Okay, great. Let's see here from Jean. No, maybe it was from Caesar. Is there an offline capability for the iPad?
Yes.
Yes. And is it similar to Field where you, as a user, physically do the push and pull, or is it something that just automatically happens?
You can. There are synchronization settings.
Okay, cool. All right, one from John here. Does copy all the versions or just the latest version?
Currently, all the versions.
Great. Alrighty, keep working down the list here. Another one from Vasanth, and apologize if I said it wrong. Can I add subfolders to the plans and shop drawings collections?
Not yet.
Okay, so that is a roadmap item. From Ollie, let me click on this so I can see all of it. Can attributes metadata be bulk uploaded? For example, upload 20 docs and bring in their metadata at the same time.
For PDFs through the title block extraction, yes. Other files, roadmap.
Other files, roadmap. Great. All right. From Simon, if a customer's drawing numbering system is 30 characters, differentiating zones, phases, packages, numbers, and etc., will docs handle it? Yes. Is there a limit to the number of characters we can have in a drawing name or numbering?
Need to check, but all the testing and the pilot customers have not run into any issues.
Great. Excuse me. All right, another one from Jean. Is there a way to export the list of files in a folder along with all the custom properties to a spreadsheet?
Not at this time.
Not at this time. All right. I probably know the answer to this one as well, but will recap files be viewable in the large model viewer inside of Docs?
Not at this time.
Okay. That one was from Michael. From Crystal, is there special permission required to upload folders, or are folder uploads restricted to particular locations? I noticed that Sean has the ability, but I don't see an upload folder in my trial account. So is that permissions based?
Yes, it would be. You have to have edit permission to add folders.
Edit permission, add folders, and then is it the view permission that you can still upload files when you're at view level?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the differentiation. Is view level can view and upload files, edit can upload folders or create folders. All right, another one from John. When are automatic hyperlinks going to be delivered?
The timing is to be determined, but that's a high priority.
It is a high priority, so it's a roadmap, but a high priority. All right, from Sam here, when 2D documents with embedded hyperlinks are uploaded, will they work in Docs? So if they're already there, will they work?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, so when you have 2D documents with embedded hyperlinks and they're uploaded to Docs, will Docs adhere to those hyperlinks?
No.
Assuming it can be PDFs. Okay, so the answer is no. Follow up to some of the metadata conversation, but from a different person. Eves asked, can I search on the metadata?
On the roadmap.
On the roadmap. Great. All right, they're still coming in here, so we'll keep marching down the list. From Cindy, Will the markups / changes of properties made inside docs show / stay in the downloaded files?
At this time, no. In the future, yes.
Okay, so if I make a markup on a document in Docs, the markup is there in Docs, but if I download that document, the markup does not come with it at this time.
Correct.
Okay, but it is a future thing. From Lee, is it on the roadmap to allow drawings to be moved from plans and shop drawings to the folder structure? And will you be able to set sheets and drawings to ignore?
Those are roadmap items.
Okay, both roadmap items. So the answer would be yes, and we'll be seeing those as roadmap items. Let's see here. Let's see, from Lucy, how about support for docs with Russian and Arabic text fonts? So a bit of a localization question there. Do you have a sense of timing for that stuff, Joan?
Yeah, localization is on tap for Q1.
Mm-hmm.
And specific sorry, this echoes drives me crazy. The specific character recognition needs to be investigated for certain fonts.
Okay, thank you. All right, another one from Simon. Will you be able to upload / access format files?
That needs to be tested.
Okay, so I guess the answer is yes, but we haven't tested it yet. Let's see here, and it was a follow-up to that one. Also, will you be able to view Insight / GBS results, or would you require to upload a PDF? I'm not sure I know what that means. Sean or Jared, do you have an idea behind that one?
I'm not sure.
Okay, Simon, we'll come offline with that one for you, Simon. Caesar, one, as are the administrative tools to control and view user permissions as powerful as those in Buzzsaw? Probably a tough question to answer. Joan, you manage both products. Do you want to take a swing at that one as far as maybe comparing the administrative tools for user management to Buzzsaw?
Sure. So today, what you're able to do is look at the folder level, and you can see exactly who has permissions. Also, because the permissions cascade down the file tree, you have a good sense of who has access to what at any level in the hierarchy. There are more extensive features in Buzzsaw, which is a very, very mature product that gives you an overview in a grid to see all the permissions at once for every folder. We do not have that in Docs right now. We're taking a measured approach and expect to get customer feedback of what's the next level of visibility they'd like to see beyond being able to check it at the folder level.
Perfect. Well said. Thank you for that. All right, we'll do a couple more here and then probably shut it down just to give everybody some time back. So from Kazu, sorry if I messed that up, a little bit more on the localization bit. Can we use Japanese characters 2 byte as a folder name or file name?
So Japanese is going to be one of the languages for localization in Q1.
In Q1, right. So at this time, not supported, but we're looking at getting that localization effort underway in Q1. Great. All right, so I think that's everything so far that I see in the Q&A panel. We're almost at 10 of to the top of the hour here. So let's go last chance for any Q&A. Go ahead and type it into the panel there. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us today. Jared, did you have something to add? Sorry, I thought I heard somebody come through. Great. So thank everybody for taking the time today. This has been recorded, so we'll get this recording sent out to everybody who registered, and it'll be posted up to the treasure map, which should be published here by the end of the week. Excuse me. I want to thank Joan for taking the time. She's super busy trying to get this product wrapped up and out the door. So really appreciate the time taken today to join us and answer all these tough questions and help us get through this launch. Yes, the slides will be available today that I went through. I'll get that sent out with the recording link as well. So with that, Sean, Jared, Joan, anything else to add?
Thank you, everybody.
All righty. Thank you so much. We'll shut down the time and appreciate your time. Good luck finishing out the quarter, and we'll see everybody on the flip side in February.